Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. Thank you. Now enjoy the show.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Thanks for tuning in again. I appreciate you, and thanks for the newly folks coming through. This is another episode of RAERAEs Review, where I will be talking about Real Housewives of Potomac. Now, this is a season 9 reunion. This is part 1. I don't know how many parts they got, at least 2. Shouldn't be more than 2 because it really wasn't a whole lot. You know, maybe they can get long-winded and push it to 3, but 2 should be fine. I mean, man, but if you saw it last night, it was pretty good. Even though Karen was not there, she was there. She sent in a video. There were some extra scenes. Of course, they talked about her DUI, the video, the disappointment, the shock, the whole gamut of feelings everyone felt. Like I said, it's a lot of disappointment, especially with someone that you care about. A little anger. Of course, there's some there when you see your loved one acting out and the lies that she told them, making it seem like, according to them, and a little bit of us too, she made it seem like it wasn't as serious as it was. But seeing that video, child, I think we all had the same reaction. Like, girl, you downplaying this to the point where it's just like it's coming off like you're delusional about it, or you're just trying to downplay it so that will be the narrative, and hopefully you won't get a harsher punishment. But child, a lot of folks is looking like, ooh, this really could be some jail time. I mean, by now everybody has seen the video, just like everybody has seen Kendrick Lamar at the Super Bowl. I mean, maybe not 155 million people have seen the video, but a good 3 million people have seen that video. Had to. I mean, everybody who watches RHOP done seen that video. And plus, I'm just saying, because, woo, child, that seems to be the running phrase. Woo, child, like, girl, when we were looking at it, I'm like, ooh, I'm not making a video off of it. I'll save it for the reunion now. And yes, Real Housewives of Potomac. We got the ladies coming through looking fabulous. All of them look really cute. Every last one of them look really cute. Now let's see some looks, shall we? Reunion, there's a montage of them, looking really cute. But we got Wendy. Now, child, we want you to be safe now. That bosom Mary look a little perturbed for me. That's cute. Then we got Gizzhell. I think Candy wore that dress too. If I'm not mistaken. I think I saw a picture online with Candy. Anyway, she looked cute. She had nails on and everything. All right now. Then we got Ashley looking, she looks better. I would have liked to see a different pose to accent the dress, leave that shawl thing somewhere. Really fluff it up with the dress. Mia, she all right. I didn't like her hair, but the dress was cute. And that's Keiarna. Woo, girl, the boobs is boobing, child. Are you breastfeeding, child? What's going on, baby girl? it has like a Morticia, a Morticia looking vibe to the dress. But it's kind of cute. I don't really like her hair either. Stacey was cute. Very pageant. And Jassi was very pretty. Very pretty. They sent in a little something of Karen. This was the video. I'm not going to show the video. It's just a little steal of the video. She's looking cute. Now, there were some other bits and pieces that they showed along with the DUI video and some of her at the precinct and, the controversial moments. Like when they first put the handcuffs on her, when she almost fell out the car with the officer, some things she was saying in the car on the way to the precinct after getting arrested. Wig looking like it was looking, of course they're going to show all the controversial moments. Well, not all, but the controversial moments of that video to make her look even worse. I mean, she can't look no worse, to tell you the truth, child. She was just a plum mess. And poor Ray. You just have to keep reliving this and reliving this. But, he's strong. He's been through a whole lot. Was he 80-something years old? He's seen a whole lot worse than this, child. Going through Jim Crow and carrying on. But we ain't going to go there. I couldn't imagine seeing my loved one, seeing my partner, my husband, my spouse, going through something like that, getting arrested in front of you. Certain things are certain acts and circumstances are traumatizing for some people, not to the person it's happening to, but for the ones there watching, because you have no control over it. And it's so devastating. Seeing your loved one in handcuffs can be the most devastating thing anyone could ever see. We're talking about handcuffs here. I mean, are we ever really truly safe whenever handcuffs is put on us? That's, some of the things that runs through your mind. Luckily, she made it through all that. Now, according to this video, this still of the video that I'm showing, she gave some words. And the one thing that she did say was she was in a rehab facility for depressants and alcohol. And then she said she's not an alcoholic. I said, what? Maybe that's why she was there for maybe 2 weeks. I mean, it wasn't long that she was in that place, right? Because for those of us who know, when you're in those, treatment facilities, detoxification facilities, those types of substance abuse, use, dependency facilities, you're there for at least 30 days. But she wasn't there for 30 days. So I'm wondering exactly what's the deal. Her sentencing was postponed due to her being in the facility, but it should be coming up before March. I believe next week. I want to say the 25th of February. I could be mistaken. Karen, this don't look good. We appreciate your sentiments. And speaking of her sentiments, she wanted to give thanks to some folks who are a part of the show. She gave thanks to, what's her name? Gizzhell. She gave thanks to Keiarna, Jassi, Candace, who's not on the show anymore, and Andy. No one else. There was a lot of judgment against Karen. Stacey only housewife to show Karen some grace on that stage. Everyone else wanted to, hold her to the fire and really give that good old, reunion shade and all of that. They wanted to give it to her. They were hoping she was there because, like I said, they felt betrayed, lied to. That's what they kept harping on. And then Mia said, well, I've been telling y'all that she needs to go into rehab or treatment facility. I've been saying it since we found out, but no one else, oh, girl, bye. There's no need to stick it to her like that, especially when someone's going through something like that. I mean, now if she's stealing, that's one thing. If she being a kleptomaniac going around, or being a Karen, literally, she's going around terrorizing folks, kicking dogs and carrying on. That's one thing, but you have to give people a lot more grace and empathy, sympathy, because technically it's a disease, and they have somewhat of no control, but at the same time they will be held accountable. So I see where people are going with this. I see where Mia is going with this, but she's not the judge and jury. She's someone on the outside looking in who's giving her opinion about things, and she has, that's what the show's all about. Now, one thing that ticked Wendy off was how she realizes that based off of what she believes Stacey said, the history of her relationship with Karen, what she honestly knows down to her bone marrow about how Karen feels about her, she said Karen's not her friend. And, she gave a great rationale, and it is what it is. I mean, it is. It is what it is. She's not trying to kick Karen down or anything. I'm looking at my notes, y'all. Wendy has been conflicted about Karen, given the fact that Karen has never blatantly in her face treated Wendy as she has been told Karen feels behind her back. So that was the confliction Wendy has been having about Karen. Even though she invited Karen to the White House, she said she regrets it. She wished she would have known before inviting her to the White House. Perhaps Karen was the fan favorite of the White House, and that's why she went. They say Wendy is somewhat of self-absorbed. So perhaps, bringing Karen would have upped the ante for Wendy to have at the White House. But it wasn't going to last long, child, because powers change, and we know Wendy ain't going to never go to the White House. Ain't going to be in the White House no time soon, child. And neither is that press secretary, child, baby. But it was what it was. So we're at the Wendy package. Talking about her and Gizzhell making up and everything, how impressed Andy was that they did it, for themselves, and it was pretty much time. Talked about her job and quitting, telling her mom how difficult it was due to, her culture. The parents put a lot of pressure on the kids to excel and be at the top of the game, which is how everybody's parents should be with their children. But it's more pronounced when so many other cultures don't do it in the manner that her culture does. It is what it is. We tend to see, it's just, obvious, those countries that are, how do I say, less fortunate to have a lot of the accoutrement that this country has. And so they want to take advantage of that and they come here for school. It happens all over the world, but certain countries have those wants and needs, and hopefully with this new administration, child, that can continue. But we just gonna hope and wish, send good vibes to those folks so that they aren't too much interrupted. But nevertheless, big ups to Wendy. She is doing very well. Her husband's business is doing very well. And then there was a point where, what's her name? Karen mentioned, this is what Wendy said. Wendy said Karen told her to watch out, since they all talking about stuff that Karen been saying behind folks' back. And another reason why Wendy thinks the way she thinks about Karen today. Okay, so like I said, Wendy said Karen said to watch out for the new girl because she's smart. And then Gizzhell chimed in and said she's smart. Yeah, she's smarter than you, Gizzhell. I mean, it's obvious. It's obvious. I'm just saying, it's obvious, child. It's obvious. It's obvious. Gizzhell, it's obvious that Stacey is smarter than you. And more poised than you. As beautiful as you. Just saying. I mean, you know. One can say more successful than you. Just saying. So, you know, Gizzhell called out Stacey for now I'm gonna say allegedly, speaking, of course, the way Gizzhell put it. Happy Stacey may be coming out soon, so Wendy, don't get mad. And Wendy's like, I hope not. And Stacey proclaimed that she has no idea what Gizzhell is talking about. Gizzhell said, you didn't talk to a certain guy about putting out a certain product and how happy it'll be, similarly to how happy Eddie's product is, you know, alluding to Stacey coming out with some type of THC or CBD edible. Because, you know, Happy Eddie then gave just about everybody some. I'm like, oh. So again, she denied it, didn't say anything to the contrary, and left it at that. We gonna find out. we gonna find out. We gonna find out. We gonna find out. Anywho, so then Keiarna chimed in and was like, "Well, you know, Stacey, I have to admit, deciding to tell what Karen told you after you guys fell out seemed, you know, to be a little shady when you knew all this time how Karen felt about folks. I mean, why say it, you know, after you guys, you know, fall out?" And Stacey said, well, I have the opportunity to provide the information, so I did. That's not really explaining why, you know, again, Keiarna called it. I mean, you knew all that time, but it wasn't until you and Karen fell out that you wanted to tell Karen's tea. Yeah, you deserve to be in the yeah. Nah, watch her, y'all. Watch her, because you don't know what's going on. Anyway, so then Wendy mentions that Karen will love you as she's your mother hen type of relationship, but once you start to grow your own wings and fly out the coop, so to speak, she kind of disowns you, and then it becomes an issue. And they pretty much said, yeah, that's pretty much what it is. Yep. So then we went to Jassi. And of course, she wasn't there long. They just wanted to touch on she's getting married in the summer and the whole she's not a side chick situation. She brought up the fact that even, his kid's mom even said that they were not a couple when they were conceiving or having that last one. So the whole notion of her being a side chick was never that. And she just, gave her own colloquialisms and sayings, different ways of just pronouncing that she was never a side chick, right? Now, excuse me. She didn't leave because there was some stuff later. So then they touch on Ashley, and she divorced and child, and they go to a montage of all the last few years of Ashley announcing divorce, but not divorced. Then Mia gonna chime in and say, yeah, I'm getting divorced, and we're going through the motions. Girl, everybody was like, girl, bye, you lying. Especially Gizzhell, especially Wendy, especially Keiarna. I mean, I'm like, why does everybody say this girl lying about her divorce? And she's, feeling emotional and everything because of what she's going through in all her life. It's just overwhelming for her. Then they talk about Jassi is upset, not upset, but just chimes in and with the kicking out, some of the ladies from the GNA event that time. And Jassi said it was just Jassi and Stacey. It was just so loud and pronounced that it was just, uncalled for when you could have done that a lot more subtly. Jassi chimed in and said, we were just a few minutes late. And it wasn't even that's pretty much, I'm just paraphrasing. It wasn't even that serious, boo-boo, for you to be doing all of what you did. And it just wasn't appreciated. And then, child, they said, well, at least it wasn't anything like Miami or something to that effect. And they're like, Miami? And it's like, are we going to talk about Miami? So we all talking about what's going on with Miami. What happened with Miami? Jassi was like looking at Stacey like, girl, well, we can talk about Miami? I'm like, what is going on in Miami? Everybody look like, what happened in Miami? Miami? You heard Miami like 1,000 times with a question mark. Miami? What happened in Miami? Child, okay, so how I figured out, and it was like, a lot of back and forth between Jassi, Stacey, it was in her dress, and also Mia, right? So it was pretty much stated that Mia invited Jassi and Stacey to her birthday in Miami. All the deets was given, all the intel was given. They're supposed to meet up at a restaurant at maybe about 8. After about an hour and no communication, they left. 9-ish? Jacqueline made it seem like Mia was too much into ink to be on time and to respond. Another reason why they left. Mia said she showed up at 11 and nobody was there. Now, Jassi and Mia were stunned that they flew all the way to Miami and got ghosted by Mia. And then Mia apologized. She was crying more so. And they're like, so here we go with the tears. And even Wendy said, as soon as you get caught in some stuff, you want to start crying to make it seem, to soften the blow. No, you are being held accountable. And she was like, I'm not evading accountability. She said she's taking full accountability. She's not evading it. It's just she's upset and crying because of everything that's going on with her. It's not just this conversation. It's, her life at the moment. And it's a lot. And she says, unfortunately, she can't be the friend that she needs to be because of all of what she's going through. And that sounds like the most honest thing that woman has said in the last 4 years she's been on the show, to be quite honest. Mia tried to apologize to Stacey and Jassi. It wasn't received because, excuse me, it wasn't received because, it had been so long ago. Again, she's said, I'm sorry I can't be the friend that I'm supposed to be, but I'm going through some stuff. So she runs back to her room, and she's just crying and everything, and just really upset. It's just the whole point of it ain't cool that they would go leave, all the way to where they were to come to Miami and nothing. I mean, Then while they're on stage waiting for everybody to come back, Eddie texts Wendy about a bombshell. This is the text that came through from Eddie to Wendy. And then that set off a whole new vibe for the reunion. But it ended, y'all, right at this moment. So part 2 is supposed to be some bombshell, something dropping. And I'm like, oh, I wonder what it's going to be. I wonder what it's going to be, child. Well, y'all, that was the end of Real Housewives of Potomac Season 9 Reunion Part 1. And we can't wait for next episode to see what that tea is that Eddie done sent Wendy about TJ and Karen on. Anyway, I hope y'all enjoy this review. And if you haven't watched the episode, go ahead and watch it. Thanks for tuning in to me. And I thank you, thank you, thank you. Please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share. And I'll catch you next time. Bye. All day.